We go hit playback on the
things
thing.
up and stuff like that.
Yeah. Casey.
I don't know about all that. Probably got insurance, stuff like that.
Although
He's like in a dog.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this crew, man. Y'all can't take over the world. Who can? What's
The only
happening?
thing is, I don't know where the
Do you
microphone
want to
is.
stand or sit?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, if you got people on Zoom, you can sit film this.
Yeah, just sit.
Yeah,
This
just
thing
sit.
lower, all right, lower.
Look at that. Right down the barrel.
I'll drive.
Everything good?
Yeah, the drive was easy, man. It's like one straight shot.
No hills,
None.
not much acceleration up and down.
No.
You're just right there.
I mean, the road was bumpy, you know what I mean?
So
Like, the
bad.
roads are
So
big
bad.
time bumpy, you know?
Bad.
Other than that, it was smooth.
Yeah. I had to change 4 tires on the way out here.
Oh, I didn't realize that you came through Ohio and just kept going. I didn't realize. Right, Indiana.
Drive.
So, hey, before we go ahead and get started, I just want you guys to know that Justin got 1 hour of sleep.
Yeah. Literally.
Soldier, talk about being a soldier.
Thank you for being here.
Yes,
Yeah, no
sir.
doubt, no doubt.
He drove the whole
No
entire
doubt.
time. He didn't sleep.
I wouldn't have
during the
missed
trip.
this at all.
They got in at 6:45 this morning, 6:45 this morning. He slept from 6:45 to 7:45, and then he had a call at 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? And he been on a call from 8 o'clock, so we got
do.
here.
Can't get back
You know
this
what I'm
time.
saying?
That's why you do what you do.
Yeah.
Just so you
Yeah.
guys know,
Yeah.
man, I told
I
you.
promised him. He said,
I was telling everybody.
he said, you really want to go? I'm like, yeah. For sure.
I was like, just go back to bed, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll figure it out. These guys they'll understand. I told them, take
I'm
a
up, I
nap.
showered. I'm like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, right.
We got plans, so, you know,
Don't worry. We find you sleeping in the
Yes,
corner like this.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll get you.
I can't stop. You know what I mean? I just gotta keep going, keep going.
We got
keep
the
going.
agency at 10 o'clock too, so we'll give them a little break too after this. Cool.
Mhm.
For those guys here, am I still meeting with those guys?
You ready to go? You go for a minute.
I'm good.
All right.
So, I think you wanted me to do a lot of some Q&A. You know what I mean? Like what's going on, how you guys are doing. Yeah, I had a few things that I was gonna go over, but I wanna see, you know, what's in your world. You know what I mean? Being here, I mean, Tommy been here longer than me, you know, by a couple months. So I know you guys are getting the juice, but sometimes when you hear things from other people, the same stuff, you know what I mean? Like it resonates. And I remember last time it got cut a little bit short, you know, from some of the questions. But in the beginning, what I wanted to talk about is what I've realized in this business, and we all, I think, you know, suffer from this a little bit. When we get a play, a lot of times we don't run it to the T. You know, we sometimes call audibles on our own because we don't believe in that play 100%. And what I'll tell you is you got to look like you're here from day one. Like when you give your new people a play, they run it like their life depended on it, right? So, you know, a lot of times you aren't where you want to be because you're not running those plays 100%. If he says, you know, you got to get a hire, you know, or 2 hires every single week, you might not be putting in the work to get those 2 hires every week. Something might distract you over here. Something might distract you over there. You know what I mean? We only run what is important to that play. So what I would tell you is that if he was telling me on the way over here is, you know, it's everybody should find 5 people. And then those people should find 5 people. So if you think about that, recruiting is the number one thing that we do. And right now it's so easy to recruit, I feel, because there's not a whole lot of jobs out there. So if that's not on your mind to get 5 people all the time, then I don't know what is. You know what I mean? Because that's going to get you to pay all your bills. And you got to almost get into the mindset that some of these people are going to make it, some aren't. You know, and you can't get upset if somebody doesn't make it. Because why don't people make it in this business? They're not working. So, you know, we think about them making it a lot of times, so we might not bring them in. Just bring them in, because a lot of times they might bring somebody else in that's better than them, and then they're gone. So you can't get upset if people don't make it, and that can't change your mindset as if you want to recruit somebody. Right. Because this is has happened to me before, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, that person didn't make it. I thought they were going to be great. I don't want to recruit anybody else. Man, this person I brought in, you know what I mean? Oh, they went and slept with this person. Now they're not here. You know, they start talking to that person, you know, like you can't let one person deter your thinking. You know, like I'm bringing in my one person recruiter. He's like my age, you know, he failed the test twice. You know, I'm like, oh man, maybe he ain't supposed to be here. Like that's the wrong thinking. You know, I'm like, let me go study with him, let him be in here, and he's gonna determine if he's good or not. You know, so understand, just keep recruiting the people, and the good ones are gonna come, the bad ones are gonna leave. You know what I mean? But we gotta keep that recruiting mindset, and don't be upset if they think you're a piece of crap, you know what I mean? Once they get in here and they're like, oh, you lied to me. No, you lied to me. You told me you wanted to work, you don't want to work. You know what I mean? That's how it is at the end of the day. So it's not like I'm going to argue with you if this person's good or not, or if you worked hard or whatnot. Like I know what it takes to be successful here. And I see people that are not talented at all doing very well. So what's the common denominator? Like they are committing 100% and they got no plan B. So, you know, when people leave, when people, you know, say that you maybe didn't follow up on your promises, understand it's not you not following up on their promises, it's probably them. You know, they're not going home studying the script. They're not doing homework. They're not doing these things. They're not looking for their replacement from day one. Why not? You know, why do you got to see if you'll be good here, you know what I mean, and then come? Like that don't make any sense. Like you're just delaying the inevitable. Why? Because they don't believe. You know, two things I tell people, and you can't go, you know, like that married with children, you can't have one without the other. Work ethic and belief. You put those two together, you got a match made in heaven. But if they have the work ethic, but they don't have the belief in the company and the product and you, then guess what's going to happen? It's not going to work. If they have the belief, but not the work ethic, again, you're screwed. So they got to have those two things together. And you got to understand the only difference between the top person in this company and the bottom person is they just haven't took enough shots. They haven't recruited enough people. So, you know, that's some stuff that I wanted to go over. I can go off on some tangents all day long. You guys know me. You know, but what are some of the things that you might have had, you know, question-wise, that I might be able to, you know, help out with some stuff? Go ahead, Jim.
For sure. Thank you for sure for coming out here too. Always giving us advice. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for saying
My dude.
You know, when Simon came, he talked about culture a lot. And I realized when I actually put the self-awareness on our team, I realized that the culture, you know, is a little bit lower and lacking as opposed to what we want it to be. So just any advice to get the culture where it's at, get it super competitive, super hype, super energetic. Because I noticed when we were coming, you know, even walk past like your agency huddles, man, everybody hype.
Yeah.
Games were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And just some good ideas for culture.
Yep. So I think the first thing with culture is getting everybody together. It's hard to get culture right with people. Some people are on Zoom, some people aren't. I would say get them in the office. The people that are on Zoom all day long, that culture is honestly not that good. So are you guys getting a lot of people in this office training one-on-one, or are you doing a lot of virtual stuff? You know, training when you hire people?
About 50-50.
About 50-50? I would say try to make, you know, more so have them come in. Because we did this in Florida. I mean, some people don't want to, that's fine. You know what I mean? But just understand those people probably aren't going to get it. They're going to be gone. But when you get people in the office and you get them all in the same mindset, that's where that culture starts. Thank you. You know, then you got to start getting them thinking about competing. You know, show them how competitive you are and show them where you want to currently be. So if I got one person right now and I want to get to 10, like I'm always constantly talking about that vision. Always constantly talking about where I want to go. The second thing in culture is I got to relate to the person. You know, you got to be likable. You got to be relatable. That's one of the qualities that people said that I do have. I can relate to anybody. I can get, because I need to get to your heart first before I can get to, you know, your bank account. I need to get to your heart. I need to get to know why you are, you know what I mean, why you are you're this kind of person. So I want to know, did you play any sports? You know, did you play, have you been in sales before? Because when I'm talking to you, Gio, if you told me that you know, played Frisbee golf, you know, I've never played that before, but I'm going to start asking you questions about that. Because now when I'm coaching you, I'm going to relate that back to the Frisbee golf. You know what I mean? Because that's something you can relate to, not me. And I'm going to try to find something that we got in common. Then I'm going to try to coach you based upon what you currently want and let you know that here's our game plan. And what I try to do when I'm small is, I try to pick out a person that we're going to compete with, even if they don't know we're competing with them, and I'm letting the whole team know that we're competing against this person. Every single week when we start beating them, then we're going to keep with this person and that person. So I'm making it a team and not just me doing this on my own. I'm also doing a lot of planning, so whenever culture, if I'm starting up that culture, I try to, as a leader, spend about 8 to 10 hours developing people. While I'm developing people, I'm working on stuff like their attitude. Like are they a positive attitude, the words they're saying? So I do some of this stuff one-on-one, two-on-two, but I try to have at least 7 one-on-ones, a week. And these are people that are up and coming people. These aren't people that don't write any business, but these are people that are up and coming. I try to have at least 7 one-on-ones because what can happen is you can get somebody a lot better working with them one-on-one. Yeah. But if I work with 3 people, one person might not get that many reps. Right. So in those one-on-ones, I'm talking about attitude. I'm talking about mindset. What is your mindset on? So I'm starting to already letting them know, embracing the culture, that this is what your mind should be set on. This is your attitude. Then I'm going over situational selling. I'm going over your work ethic. What are you working on? I'm going over, selling singles, seniors. I'm going over evaluation of performance, how you're going to evaluate yourself, all these things, and tell them that you're always got to be working on something. So I'm going to be talking to them about that stuff one-on-one. So I do about 6 to 7 of those, and then I do some 2-on-2, 3-on-3. So while I'm working with them on that stuff, guess what? That's when they're getting their mindset right. That's when we're getting that culture right. And then after every sale, after every, we get somebody on the phone, like it's a team atmosphere. So I'm letting them know this is not an individual. Like if somebody books an appointment, guess what? We got to be excited about it. If somebody gets a sale, we got to be excited about it. Create some team goals that you want your team to do. Get this going on. Mm-hmm. Create team goals. To get the team bought in. And then what I also like to do is I like to fill out those sheets of how I like to be coached. Just so I know that, how does this person like to be coached? And I want them to be honest with me on that paper. What are some of your dreams? What are some of your aspirations? Because I want to coach you based upon what you want, not based upon what I want. But culture, is huge. Getting people to the office is big because you can help them out. You can see what their mind, you can see how their mind is if they get a no-show. You can see what their mind is if they get an appointment, if they get a presentation, and you're there to help them. In person, one-on-one. And how you develop the winning one is, like I said, you pick people out and you just start crossing them out, one by one. And then at the end of the day, then you'll be at the top, then people are going to be crossing you out. You got to pick something else, that you got to find. But I think meeting with them more so, one-on-one, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and that means your schedule got to be set. Today's Friday. Friday should be a big evaluation day. Are you guys on run code 1 or run code 2?
What is that?
Are you on run code 1 or 2?
Wednesdays now, right?
So Wednesday, okay, so run code 1.
Okay.
So you get your advance reports on Thursday.
Oh, now we do.
Friday.
Are you still getting Friday?
Same.
Okay, so still Friday, so really it's.
Well, this is the first time they're changing it.
Okay.
October or September is when they first started.
So if they change it to Wednesday,
Might
get
be
your
October.
cutoff day instead of Thursday, then you'll get your advance reports on Thursday then.
Okay.
So you might want to start evaluating on Thursday, what happened. A lot of people don't evaluate. You just go into that next week thinking that something's going to change, but you didn't evaluate anything. Like nothing's going to change if you don't change anything. Yeah. So like today on Friday, I start to look at what am I going to do the next week? Who did I spend time with last week and what did they do at that time? Do I want to spend more time with this person? Like I'm always trying to find ways, and Tommy taught this to me about how can I be more effective. Like it's not just to work 60 to 70, 80 hours and think, okay, I work 60, 70, 80 hours. That's not cool no more. How can I be more effective and efficient with my time? Some people, because I know that maybe like a young person brand new in the business, you guys got 2 people in there, they look hungry. Like they'll listen probably to anything that you say, Casey. But nothing against Drew. We've been here for a little bit of time. He might not be like, oh, man, Casey, yes. But the new guy like, man, yeah, Casey is awesome. He's great. You know what I mean? So the new people, you don't have to force time with them. So with the new people, I want to spend more time with them. I want to let them know about stuff. So I'll work with them one-on-one more. I work with them too if they show, you know what I mean, ability. But some people, if they've been here for a while, I might work with them every other week. So you got to be very, very, very consistent with your time. This is something I started this year that's worked out big time dividends. You know what I mean? Like I already figured out basically all month in October who I want to work with, you know, every single week, one-on-one, and who I want to work with every other week, because my time is very valuable, and them getting that 1 hour with me is gonna pay that difference. I even know what times of the week I'm gonna work with them. You know, I look at who can meet me at 8 a.m. because I can get a quick one in from 8 to 8:45.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're evaluating on that Thursday or on that Friday. What did you do last week? What are you gonna change up this week with recruiting? You know, you went all week. You know, how much did you recruit? Like, because time is the most valuable, precious asset that we have. But people don't track their time. Like, you'll know what I'm doing every hour on the hour. You know, today, tomorrow, every day. You know what I mean? Unless I'm on vacation, you'll know what every hour. So you got to do that, and then you got to teach your people how to do that as well. But you got to be able to evaluate that performance on that Thursday or on that Friday and see what you're going to do to change it. You know, because 1 week can make a big difference.
And then just to elaborate on that, I'm sure it's a lot of people's questions too. If you have that one person that's just like not like necessarily a culture killer, you know, on the Zoom, kind of yawning, or maybe just, you know, not active in the group.
Yeah.
But then every once in a while pop off a 2K deal and you're like, what? Where did that come from, right? I'm sure the one-on-ones
Oh, yeah.
would help in that situation. But where do you find that point where you just want to almost like, you've given them so much and you keep giving them and giving them and giving them, but you don't want them to pull down
Right.
like the top.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Good question. You know what I mean? Because I got some people like that, you know. If it continues to be a problem, you know what I mean, and it's distracting my culture, but they're getting me production. You know what I mean? Like if they're writing like 4,000 to 6,000 in production and the only thing is they're yawning on Zooms, like they're not blurting out crazy stuff, you know what I mean? Then what I'm going to let them do is I'm going to say, hey, do your own thing. We'll meet once a week, you know what I mean? Just go over where you're at, what you need, but you don't have to be on no team Zooms. I'll just be cool with the production. Because I had a guy in Pittsburgh, he was like, I mean, he wasn't even negative really, you know what I mean? But what they told me is he didn't like making calls, you know what I mean? Didn't like running the leads, and he was brand new. I thought he had a lot of potential. And our managers were on him about making calls, calling leads, you know what I mean? He got mad about the upload times and he quit. You know what I mean? I'm like, why did this dude quit? I mean, he was a keeper code every single month. Everything was great, but he quit because we were forcing him to do something that he didn't need to do. He was writing 4,000 to 6,000 a month, brand new. Didn't use any leads. I'm like, I can use that. That can pay for my recruiter. That can pay for your assistant. So understand what you got if you got it. You know, and if they're writing a little bit of business, you know, just keep them away. You know what I mean? Because that's what they want to do anyways. Like if they're yawning on my Zoom, like you don't want to be on my Zoom anyways.
Yeah.
So don't even show up on the Zoom. Right. But on Fridays, you know, maybe every other week from 8 to 8:30, if you're an early riser, we'll get on the phone. You just ask me questions if you got them every other week. I'll see you Monday at the agency meeting or whatnot. You know, even if they're signing on the agency meeting, I know Tommy's going to get pissed. I'm not even going to have him on the agency meeting. I'm just going to let Tommy know, hey, this person, they're going to get us 4,000 a month, you know, 1,000 a week. They're not going to use that much leads, and, you know, I'm not going to have them on the Zoom. Is that okay? Because I don't want them, because what will happen is one person that's a decent producer will see that, and then they'll think they can do it. And now you'll lose, you know what I mean, 2 people. So I would rather not have them or push them more, you know what I mean, when I know they might not want to be pushed.
Yeah.
But when I talk to them, when we talk to them about their vision, their goals, you know what I mean, like where do you see yourself? Like right now you're making about $2,000 a month. Is that paying for all your bills? You know, your residuals are going to be decent. You know what I mean? What they think is decent isn't what we think is decent. But some people, if they get $250 a month, they're happy. You know what I mean? Some people, they get $500 a month, they're happy. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know what I mean? But that's how some people are. I don't get it because that's not what I want. You know what I mean? But on a football team, you got kickers, right? You got punters. And their personality is way different than the running backs. Way different than the tight ends, you know? So understand, in the team, I might have a kicker. I might have a punter. That's the people that don't want to be on Zoom. You know, they always got a person that does the long snapping, right? Like they don't look like they should play football at all. The long snapper. You know, when I look at them, one of you guys are long snappers, I apologize. You know what I mean? But it looks like they don't know like the long, but they make $500,000 long snapping. You think they're in the locker room with Ray Lewis? No. No, they on the field long snapping when Ray Lewis doing all this. You know what I mean? You know, like you think the backup punter is on the Zoom? No. So try to not cater to them, but just let them know you're not gonna mess with my culture. We're gonna put you over here. But let's talk about your goals, because when their vision is clear, now they might work a little bit harder. You know, when that vision is clear, maybe no one's ever talked to them about that. You know what I mean? And try to sharpen something that they might not be good at. But that's what I would do with a culture killer for sure.
That's awesome. Thank
You
you.
know,
So play to their strengths,
play
basically.
to the strengths. Oh yeah. Go ahead, Daquan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of asked, Simon the same question. I always want to hear, your response as well. You talked to us about, getting to the next level and actually like raising, our leadership lid.
Yeah. So the first thing is you gotta make a commitment to yourself. You know, because I had to do that this year. I feel like my leadership lid has gotten better. And you got to be able to develop yourself. So when I talk about putting 8 to 10 hours of development in your schedule, I just talked to 201 at home office about this. In order to put that in my schedule, that means I had to commit to me. You know what I mean? That means I had to also do 8 to 10 hours of developing myself. You know, waking up early, eating the right things on my mind, body, and spirit. So you're going to get to the next level when you commit that you might want to give up something. You know what I mean? When you might want to give up some sleep. You might want to give up some late nights. And then you start sharpening your axe. You know, you cannot get any better until you sharpen up your axe. So you first think about, okay, what do I need to get better at? In leadership, all it is recruiting, you know what I mean? And then developing people. So, most of the time you probably got to do some leadership books. John Maxwell, I love. You know what I mean? 5 levels of leadership. You might want to invest, you know what I mean? There's more stuff, Maxwell Leadership Academy. I mean, there's tons of John Maxwell stuff, tons of, MFCEO stuff, tons of that Arikit Syndicate or whatever it is. There's tons of leadership stuff out there, but you can learn all that leadership stuff. And then when people come in, if you can't show them how to sell, like you're going to be screwed, So you got to also make sure that when you're leadership developing, you're developing you, because you can talk all the big words, but they got to be able to see, some success. So that's on the other hand. So now you got to think about, what am I good at? What am I not good at? Can I sell everybody that's a single person? Can I sell everybody that's a senior? Can I sell everybody who's got a family? Do I know about inheritance taxes? Do I know about Social Security pension? Do I know about all these things? And do I have a clear cut and efficient way that I can show these people success? Is my work ethic lining up to what I'm doing? Because as an SAG and MGA, leadership development is great, but you got to develop you, and you got to be able to develop your skill set. You know what I mean? Your skill set. And seek people out. My leaders are seeking out Ashley Russ. I think she got that, thing where she's developing people or whatnot. I think I got 2 or 3 people on there. And I'm cool with it because my ego ain't that big. I'm like, hey, if you want to get it from her, go ahead. I've taught you everything I need to know. She's the #1 producer in American Income. But there's something that you suck at. You just got to write those things down, get better at sales. And while you're getting better at the sales, also getting better at the leadership development. Because if I'm developing myself 5 days a week, it's not all leadership stuff. I got sales stuff in there still that I'm developing myself. I learned about inheritance taxes. I had no idea about them. Learned about them last month. Had no idea that if you die in Pittsburgh, in PA, and you leave your kids the house, $100,000, the house paid off. They got to pay 4.5% inheritance taxes. $4,500 right now. And think about that, Daquan. If your family's leaving the house, they don't want you to pay.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't want you to pay on that. Like, you still got to pay tax. But so now I can talk to your mom and dad about getting $4,500 more insurance to take care of that, so you ain't got to come out of pocket.
Wow.
And they're okay with it because they want to leave you the house. I didn't know about that. Chuck Ferrari been doing it for years. So that's why he said, I just want to do seniors, I'm like, that makes sense now. So we incorporated that into our pitch, you know? So there's something, you know what I mean, that you can get good at. And then while you're getting good at that, sales one day, maybe on Monday, leadership on Tuesday, leadership on Wednesday, then maybe something else on Friday, maybe something else on Thursday, but it's detailed. Like if you look at my schedule, it's detailed what I'm going to work on, develop myself on Monday, what I'm going to work on Tuesday. Like I leave nothing up for chance. And sometimes you'll mess up. Sometimes you'll, you know, I got one guy, he got his schedule, you know, down on Thursday yesterday, right? We didn't meet with trainees till 1 o'clock because we try to switch up. You know, some days are in the morning, some days are in the afternoon. So I want to show them that you can get some morning appointments, you get some afternoon appointments. But the key is I told them is expectations, 10 presentations you're going to see first week, 10 the second week. So you're going to see 20 presentations during training. Well, the trainees don't come in till 1 o'clock on Thursday, 1 to 3, they're working on presentations. So from 8 to 1, they got nothing going on. You know, and my person, I had a call with them at 9 o'clock. They're like, yeah, we want to do this, do this done. And then also I got some duplicates that I want to send, you know, to the staff, you know, to get some replacements because he's bitching and complaining about, you know, people had already been seen. He was bitching and complaining on Monday. You know what I mean? It was Thursday. So after I didn't see the email all day, I got home from Florida yesterday and I'm like, let me text him. I'm like, hey, did you do the first thing you told me you were going to do? And did you go ahead and send those replacements in? Nah, I didn't send them in. I'm like, what the hell were you doing from 9 to 1 o'clock? Like that don't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? You weren't presenting. You know, what were you doing? Like laying in the bed? Like I created this from 9 to 1 so you wouldn't have to deal with the trainees. You know what I mean? So understand, even though they had a schedule, we had something in there that you're supposed to do, then follow to a T. Same thing as if I tell people a schedule, you know what I mean? Some people, that's why you're not where you want to be at because you do your own thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes I do my own thing. I'll listen to some like, do this, do this, do this. I'm like, ooh, I like everything except number 3. Nah, I don't want to do number 3. No. Pre-releases all the time? Nah, I don't want to do that. You want me to call all my finals in my pipeline? I'll call 2 of them. You know what I mean? Like we pick and choose what we want to do. And then we pick and choose what success rate we want. You got to be able to follow it to the T no matter what. Why would someone lie to you? Yeah. You know, I remember in the beginning, I just wanted to go back to Simon and be like, yep, didn't work. Remember that case? We just wanted to go back, like, nah, it didn't work, but it never happened. Never happened. So with leadership development, you got to get really good at selling first. You know what I mean? Like don't overcomplicate it. You cannot lead anybody if you can't sell. So go back to the drawing board and say, can I sell? Can I consistently do standard? What's the standard? 2,000 reps. Yeah. Can you do that consistently? You know what I mean? Like that's 8,000 on a PMP. That's not 6. That's 8,000. Can you do that consistently? If not, you got to develop that area. You know, develop your weaknesses. Okay. Everybody always says work on your strengths, but develop those weaknesses.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, get it. Go get it. Come on, close them. You know what I mean? So develop that stuff, and then also be working on that leader, because leadership is really, you know, how you talk to people. You know what I mean? Words, delivery. You know what I mean? Your attitude towards certain things. You know what I mean? When you get a no-show, what's your attitude like? Do you get pissed off? Do you show that to your kids? You know what I mean? It's just being a parent. You know, confidence. But understand it's your job to get them that confidence, but you got to first be able to sell 100% in every lead type. I know Casey can sell every lead type. Every lead type, man. You know what I mean? I've seen him do it. You know what I mean? I know Josh can do it too. I've seen you do it. You know what I mean? You just brand new again. So I know Gio can. You know what I mean? So you got these people here that can do this. Like, just say what they say and believe in it. You know what I mean? Like, it's say what they say and believe in it. They're not lying or they'd be fired already. You know what I mean? Like, if you lie to the customers, I've seen people get fired. I've seen a lot of people in this business get fired. You know what I mean? So if you lie to them, you will get fired. So they're still here. So do it. You know what I mean? Like we got this Mario pitch. You know Mario, right? From Mario. Now he's an SGA. So we got the Mario pitch, and I remember my cousin works in Cleveland, and he was like, yeah, but I really don't like it that much. You know what I mean? I'm like, the dude's probably trained 500 people. You know what I mean? And he had the #1 producer, and they took off like 3 months. I'm like, I don't know what you, I mean, he ain't in jail. You know what I mean? Obviously doing something right. You know, he's not like the last guy that was in Chicago. He's gone. Ain't like Ben Halali. I'm like, it works, man. I'm like, it works. You should do it. You should try it. But now he ain't in the business no more.
What's the
You know what I mean?
The finalization.
You're like, yeah, you want that Mario picture. I mean, it's basically what we've been doing, you know what I mean, with the ADB, you know, but they just word it a little bit different, you know what I mean?
And that ADB, the whole like.
Yeah, like he tells people, you know what, Gio, let's say they got 30,000 or like 50,000 ADB. You have 80,000 in coverage, Gio. But here's the thing though. 30,000 of it is up here. You know, that's permanent. If you die of heart attack, natural causes, whatever it is. But this other 50, and he says everybody has it like this. So you're not doing disservice to the other agent. Everybody has it like this, but now because you're a little bit older, you know, you want to make sure that this full 80,000 pays out. So I'm going to show you options and make sure that that full 80,000 pays out, so that if you die of a heart attack, natural cause or anything, the full 80,000 pays out. You know, then he has a couple one-liners that are fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like you can't connect the dots, you know, moving forward, but you can't connect them moving backwards or something like that. Or maybe the other way around, something. But he talks about that. I got all the one-liners in here. Actually, I could show you. You know, he talks about what would the 60-year-old you say? You know, when he tell you to do this. You know, another line that he uses, you'll love this, Gio. So whenever they say they can't afford it, you know, or whatnot, he says, so Gio, is it the price or is it the cost? You know what I mean? Is it the price or is it the cost? You know what I mean? What do you think they always gonna say? The price, right? Okay, exactly. You know what I mean? So, and then he says, I'm glad you said I can't afford it because it shows me you care about your family. You know, it's not saying that you want to think about it. So like he almost uses their words against him, you know? And then he's already pitched the 3 options, right? Like the gold, silver, bronze, or whatever it is. And he tells them to get the silver, not the gold, for a reason. You know what I mean? So when they say they can't afford it, you know what I mean? He always makes it seem like they can't afford the gold. Sick. I'm like, I never thought about it. Something small, you know what I mean? But he's like, yeah, you know, there's always a cost though. You know, you got to think about it. You're looking at the cost right now, but there's always a cost of doing something, and there's always a cost of doing nothing. And what I found out, Gio, Josh, is the cost of doing nothing far outweighs the cost of doing something because of inflation. So yeah, I don't think you should do the gold option either, you know, but I don't even think you should do the bronze option, you know, but do you think you'll be able to afford the bronze option, or do you want to go with the silver option? You know what I mean? Which one would you want to try to go with? So he always makes it seem like it was that gold option they couldn't afford. You know, one other thing that he does is he whenever he gives the options, you know how you only give the option of the new price. You know what I mean? Like if they're going to move up 50,000, you only say, okay, 50,000 is going to be, you know, $200 a month. He combines them both so the customer doesn't have to ask him the question. So his gold option is 80,000 permanent, and he puts $100 a month or $100 a week, 400 a month. So now when they're going to ask you, is that for everything? Yep, that's for everything.
Yep.
To make the full 80,000 permanent. And he always puts the weekly amount and the monthly amount. I thought that was genius, you know what I mean? Because I used to always do, you know, the either or. You know, then the silver option, you know, might be 60,000 permanent, put both prices together. You know, like maybe $75 a week, $350, you know what I mean, a month. And then the bronze option might be, let's say 50,000 all in permanent, you know, and that might be $50 a week, $200 a month. So those are a couple of things what we got out of him, you know what I mean, for it. You know, his phone script is pretty good too. I'll get you guys that before I leave. I mean, I got it all from him. He did a workshop for JB, and it was fire. You know what I mean? He said in the workshop, it's about getting people to think bigger. You know, like he made me want to go write some premium after this workshop. He said, whatever you have done in a week, in a month, you can do in a week. So what's been your biggest month, Gio? 45. He said you could do that in a week.
What was his biggest month, like 150 or something?
Who?
Yeah.
Mario's? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Crazy.
And he said he did 40,000 a couple of times in a week that week. You know, Hans Klink is our biggest producer in Maryland. He did 45,000. He said, yep, you should be able to do that in a week. I'm gonna show you how to do it in a week. And that's what he showed us. You know what I mean? But he said it's about getting your mind to think that you can do it. And after the workshop, you know, he said, now everybody's gonna be even. And we had a guy who never wrote any business at all. He's doing the Wall of Fame now.
Wow.
All off of that pitch. And understand it's all virtual. So make like, do you guys use the slides with the words on it? Are you guys using that now? So we're doing that now. So when our people are in training, you know what I mean, they get the slides, the PowerPoint slides with the words on it. They don't got to memorize the script anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they? You know what I mean? Like some people are doing webinars, they just click the button. Some people are doing group. So make sure that we're utilizing technology.
Yeah.
Like if I was doing a presentation, this is my laptop, I would have a paper here, a paper there, a paper up here, the PowerPoint slides, my people would never have to close, ever. You know what I mean? Like usually it's a script, right? They don't want to know the script.
Can you get us a script with the slides?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, I'll get it. Because I'm like, we just started that, like Zothan was talking about it.
Yeah.
So if Zothan was somebody, we said, yeah, for sure. And I said, yeah, you can close 100 people. You can literally, because they don't know what to say whenever they give a rebuttal. So now you can have a rebuttal right up on the screen. You know what I mean? Right up on the screen. But Mario Stone's script was pretty good. He goes to his presentation like 20 minutes too, maybe 20, 30 minutes. I'll get you all the stuff. You know what I mean? All the one-liners.
That's primarily POS.
Primarily, yes, POS.
Do you see, are they still doing like the hard cards, same way on Zoom with like the presentation or the scripts on the
Mhm.
slides?
Yep, it's right on the bottom of the slides. Rapport, everything. And the clients can't see it.
Wow.
Clients cannot see it. It's sick.
Huge.
It's sick.
You can't miss.
How are you guys? Oh, here's the script. Let me see this. These icebreakers are dope. I know that you're busy. I do have a lot of members to see. So a little bit about me. I'm one of the managers of American Income. I've been with the company for this reason. The reason I bring this up is because anything you guys need to know regarding your policy, I'll be able to break it down into you in detail. My job is to go over two things, and that's it. I'm going to go over your policy so you know where money is going. And most importantly, I'm going to go over your policy so that you know what the future of your policy is going to look like.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Cookie cutter.
That's really good.
Cookie cutter. And I got all this written down, so you ain't got to do nothing else. He was talking about upgrading it. Now, keep in mind, it's nothing that you did wrong. You know, so proactively telling people it's nothing you did wrong when you're moving up the ADB. It's nothing you did wrong. You know, this is absolutely nothing the agent did. This is how everybody works. Because as you get older, the chances of you dying in an accident, they decrease. Here's the idea. Every year that you wait to match it up here, it's costing you more money and more money and more money. Does that make sense? So every year that you wait to match it, like he puts the 30,000 whole life up top, 50,000 in the bottom, and he's telling them every year that you wait to match it is costing you more money. So the cost of waiting is costing you more money, and that's true. But it's basic, and think about this. He's foreign. So if he's writing that much business, you can't even hardly understand what he's saying. Like, shame on you. He just out working everybody. He's out working everybody. That's it. But I'll get everybody this stuff. What are you guys doing for like finals and stuff like that? Are you still calling people for finals after the webinar and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, how many people are you having finals with? You feel?
How many people like a week?
Mhm.
I've been doing a lot. I've been doing like 15 a week.
Like 15.
Right.
So you're calling 15 people, setting them and everything.
I have an assistant that helps out with that, but majority myself and a couple others.
Like, I got a godsend. The lady who used to do this for me quit. You know what I mean? And she thought I was going to be mad, but I wasn't mad at all. You know what I mean? Because it saved me $400 a week. I use something called Calendly.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what Calendly is?
Yeah.
So what I did was I set up a Calendly account, and then, you know, it's at a group setting and it's got a one-on-one setting. You know, so then I set the times that I want to do, you know what I mean? The actual interviews. And I'm going to start doing group interviews now, actually. But I was doing one-on-ones. I set the times I want to do it. Then I have something called Textily. You guys hear that before?
Textily.
Textily, yeah. So it's very cheap, but it'll let you send out a mass text. So now what I do is, after the people are in my webinar, the ones that I want to invite back for a final, I upload them to Textily, you know what I mean? And then they're a subscriber. Then I have a template of a text, okay, and it's not coming from my number either. And then I just mass text them all with the link from Calendly, and they just pick what link, what time they want. They want at 10 o'clock, they do 10 o'clock. They want at 12, they do it at 12. Simple. You know what I mean? But it's so simple, and it takes me maybe 20 minutes, you know what I mean, to do it. So now I can spend more time on something else. I don't have to pay somebody else to do it, and it works like a charm. Like, since we've been sitting here, you know what I mean? It's funny because I sent this out yesterday. Usually we get it back already, but check it out. What's that say right there, that first one?
Right here.
Mhm.
Wow, Ruthie Fernandez is attending final Zoom interview with Justin Adams of Various Agency, 10 a.m. Tuesday, September 8, 2020.
Bam.
It's just, she set herself.
Set herself.
It's like residual income.
Yeah, set herself. I don't do anything, you know, about it. So, I mean, it's been a lifesaver, you know what I mean, for that part of it. And like I said, it's pretty cheap. You know what I mean? Textly, and then of course, you guys, TEXTD LY. And it stinks because you got to do it on a computer. It's not like an app on your phone or whatnot. But Textly, man, it's a game changer. Game changer, man. No more calling people for finals at all, man. Because what if you don't get them? You know what I mean? Then they got to call you back. Then they got to set. The link is super cool. You know what I mean? From Textly, boom, you click on it, and the times are already there.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's definitely a better way.
so I was gonna ask, as far as, you know, production goes, are you seeing, you know, obviously like the standards be, you know, 2000 LP? I know when you spoke to Ryan Young, he said that's getting ready to be, you know, smashed. Are you seeing, you know, the same type of results as well? Is that with the Mario Hyro pitch, or is that just a month?
If people are running POS, it's way higher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the people that are superstars, I'm holding to a higher standard. You know what I mean? But the people that aren't, you know, they got to get up to 2,000. And what I'm finding out is the ones that are coming in the office, the ones that are, you know, taking the one-on-one coaching, you know, and they're having the scripts and stuff like that in front of them, those are ones that are selling. You know what I mean? But the ones that are putting in the work, they're making the phone calls, they're there almost all day. Like, I just left our St. Pete office. They're young. Like, we got to get younger too, because young people, they ain't got nothing to do. We got to get younger. You know, like, I don't want people with kids, you know, no more. I want people who are like 20, 22. They ain't got to make that much money, and guess what? They want to work. You know what I mean? They want to work. So they got a motor, you know. So they're coming in. They're letting me coach them. They're letting me mold them. You know what I mean? I'm teaching them all sales, and they're working hard. They're putting in the amount of calls they need to make, like have a number of calls they need to make, a number of presentations. So now you show them something that they need to do on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis, and they're starting to have a lot of success doing that. You know what I mean? But they got to start off 2,000 first, and then boom, move, bump it up, bump it up, bump it up, and know who you're working with. You know, some people are soft. You know, some people, I'll say you did 2,000, you should be doing 4, and then it goes back down to 1. I'm like, ooh, I can't push them anymore. You know what I mean? But some people, they'll be at 2, I'll push them, then they'll be at 6. You know, so know your audience. And after one conversation, you should know that. You know what I mean? Like if they just get bad, they don't want to, like, they're coming and they're putting their head down, you know, just because you're pushing them a little bit. That's when I just got to, like, tell them they're doing a good job.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Great job, man. Phenomenal. You know what I mean? Because it's like they're not going to get better. It's like that running back who fumbles. You know what I mean? The coach knows I got to put my arms around you rather than tell you that you're going to be sit the bench, you know, if you fumble again. Like, I got to know that running back. If I put my arms around him and let him know it's okay, we're going to be all right, we'll rush for 100 more yards. But if I get on him, you know what I mean? Like, that's something that, like, will trigger something bad, not something good.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I think I got like 2, you know, interviews. We got to talk to the agency, right?
Yes, sir.
It's
Is there
10 o'clock
another
already.
link? Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, 5.
Who should I get this script to?
There's Chicago MGA at the Vina Agency.
Chicago, India. Let me get this back.
Let me make sure it's just MGA, not MGA. Yeah, Chicago MGA
Price or the cost?
at the Vina Agency.